Inside this room is a man who's changed the lives of over 170,000 Americans, showing them how they could collect gains like 100%, 273%, and 390% in as little as 8 days, ignoring 99% of the entire stock market. Instead, focusing on just one stock over and over again. Today, he's putting his entire multi-million-dollar reputation on the line, revealing the controversial strategy which helped him achieve financial freedom at the young age of 42 and profit right through massive stock market crashes like 2000, 2008, and even 2020. For years, he's helped thousands of people, from school teachers to doctors, people like Adam Jeffrey, who used these trading secrets to profit more than $309,000. And it starts with a little-known strategy called one-stock retirement, a trading breakthrough that could help anyone collect triple-digit gains in as little as 8 days, regardless of trading experience, market condition, or limited trading capital. Today's interview is set to be one of the most exciting money-making revelations of all time. And the millionaire trader behind this door says you will discover the exact name and ticker symbol behind his one-stock retirement strategy and how he used it to achieve financial freedom at the age of 42, and how you can use this secret to profit massively during any kind of market condition, even complete market meltdowns. You will also discover what he calls the #1 financial myth of all time and how you can avoid it, starting with as little as $100. Now let's be honest, these claims are big, and for most people they might seem impossible, especially in today's rocky market. But as you'll see, this man has found a way to turn all of the chaos and volatility we've seen to his advantage, not just once, but over and over again. And that's how this farm boy turned millionaire has used this strategy to run a $200 million firm, attracting the likes of Silicon Valley executives and even pro athletes. And although he's been offered as much as $5 million to manage money, and although a business college asked him to create an MBA course around this strategy, none of this means I'm going easy on him today, not by a long shot. Today, he's in the spotlight, and we're gonna get to the bottom of his strategy to see if it's all just hype or actually something us regular folks can put to good use. It's time to put him to the test. Are you ready? All right, well then follow me. Hi, Jeff, good to see you.
Hi, Kim, great to see you
Yeah,
too.
thanks so much for taking time with me today.
It's my pleasure.
All right, well, let me just start by saying that even if half of what you're saying is true, I think this is going to be a pretty fascinating interview. I've been looking forward to this. You've said you're going to shake the foundation of what everyone believes when it comes to collecting big profits from the markets, even during a crash.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me, Kim. And absolutely, if you don't mind, first I'd like to address the elephant in the room, right? The whole idea of retiring by trading a single stock. Now, to most people, I don't know, it sounds
a bit crazy. Sorry,
right,
but
yeah, exactly.
Does, yeah.
For most investors, it probably does seem a bit crazy because for years we've been told to do one thing over and over again: build a balanced portfolio and then hope for the best. But let me ask you, how's that working out lately?
For me personally, not so great. I mean, it seems like every stock is going sideways or worse, just completely falling apart. And so that's really why I just wanted to invite you to be here with us today.
Well, personally, I like to ignore all the market chaos and then just sort of focus my attention on just one stock. And to be clear, you probably won't hear about the one stock retirement from anybody on CNBC or Yahoo Finance or CNN or really anywhere else, that's for sure. And it's all thanks to what I call the world's most predictable stock. It allowed me to leave my professional money management behind at the age of just 42. And it was the best decision I ever made. Because what most money managers tell you to do is, frankly, it's ridiculous. They say to buy a whole bunch of stocks and hold on for dear life. Sit back and wait, 10, 20, 40 years and collect maybe a tiny 10% per year. And at that rate, Kim, you'll never actually retire. And this is exactly why nearly 41% of the entire country says they don't have enough money to retire. And it would take a miracle to get them there.
Wow. So what you're saying is?
Well, what I'm saying is the days of buying and holding for decades, they're finished. That's why I want to show you my one stock retirement strategy today, so you can see it with your own eyes. I mean, right now. So here's what I'd like to do. Today I'm going to give you the name of my one stock, a real demonstration, and I'll walk through my entire strategy, the exact opposite of how most people are investing.
I've got to say, that's a lot to put on the line, Jeff.
Well, yeah, sure it is. But when done right, you can use it to make more money in a single week than most folks make in 20 years in the market. I mean, even when most stocks are falling apart. Let's look at a real life example. This actually happened during one of history's worst market crashes. In a single day, the Dow plummeted 1,191 points. At that time, CNN said it was the most in history, and CNBC reported it was a $3 trillion wipeout in 1 week.
Oh yeah, it was pretty awful. I actually have friends whose portfolios got absolutely crushed.
Yeah, it was devastating for anyone that was caught off guard. I mean, millions of people lost their savings, their investments, and their jobs. I mean, I read a story from the New York Times about an accountant who said, everything has changed in a matter of minutes, even seconds. Am I going to lose my house? Am I going to lose everything? But instead of getting caught in this $3 trillion wipeout, I used the one stock retirement strategy to recommend a simple trade during the crash. And my readers had the chance to collect a 373% gain in just 8 days. And Kim, even better yet, it only took $75 to get in on the trade. So it was accessible for practically anyone.
Okay, wait a minute. 373%? So you're saying when the entire stock market burned down, one of the largest Dow crashes in history, you and your readers had the chance to collect around 37 years of typical market gains in just 8 days?
Yeah,
Really?
that's right. And this is why I'm here today, to help give everyone a shot to make money in any kind of market, even like the one that we're seeing today, without having to spend hours hovering over their computer. What's happened to stocks this year? For most people, it's all been terrifying. You get to your account statement and you're tempted not to look. It's too painful.
Yeah.
But despite all the mayhem and all the volatility, you could be making just as much money today as you did last year, maybe even more, simply by following my approach.
Okay, well, I have to admit, Jeff, any way you slice it here, it's incredible to pull 373% gains in just 8 days. But, okay, let's be honest. Anyone can get lucky, once or twice,
Well,
right?
yeah, that's true. Except I've helped folks see triple-digit gains over 48 times and double-digit gains something like 81 different times. I mean, take a look at some of my winners over the years.
Wow, at 210%, at 353%, and even 385%. Okay, forgive me for saying this. I just got to say it, though. It still sounds almost too good to be true. I mean, I'm not sure what you're doing, but it seems very different from how most people play the market. So you need to tell us a bit more. I mean, what's the true secret behind your one stock retirement strategy?
Okay, as you're going to see today, it's all about simplifying trading down to its core. I mean, that's not really a secret, but it's my secret. Forget the nearly 6,000 different stocks that you have to choose from. Forget the 5.4 billion shares that trade on the market every day. That's all chaos to me. All you have to do is tap into one single stock, even during a crash like we've seen this year, and you can start pulling 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times your money over and over again.
All right, so one stock, really?
Yeah, just one stock.
All right, the suspense is killing me here, so please just tell us, what is that one stock?
Okay, well, I kind of knew you'd try to slide that question in early, Kim, but listen, I'll reveal the stock in a moment because it flies pretty much under the radar. It's not a Dow stock, it's not in the Qs, it's not an S&P 500 or any FANG stock, it's not Tesla, not in the Russell 2000, nothing to do with Bitcoin or anything else you might guess.
Well, I certainly hope it's not any of those stocks because they're all down big right now. Okay, so sounds like fun. I'm game. I'm ready because clearly everything you're doing, it seems to be working. And I may not know the stock, but one of the things I do know about you is that your success has allowed you to live a life most people only dream of. True financial freedom. I mean, can we just go there for a minute? You don't mind, right? I mean, you've got a beautiful home overlooking Silicon Valley where the world's biggest innovations are being created. Your neighbors are MLB players and billionaire tech CEOs. I mean, you've got the life and most importantly, the freedom that almost everyone hopes for.
Well, okay, let me stop you there, Kim. Obviously, money doesn't solve everything, right? I mean, you can't take it with you.
Yeah, come on. In the meantime, you sure can have a lot of fun.
Well, sure you can. If I want to take my family across the world to Rome, I can do that. If I want to spend all day watching sports on TV, I can do that too. Or if I want to sit at the pool and make more money than most people make in 15 years in the stock market, I can do that. But Kim, I want to make a quick point about all the flashy items, right? The life I have now, okay, you're right, it's wonderful. But I had to earn it the hard way. I mean, I was actually born on a farm in Kansas.
Well, you're not in Kansas anymore.
That's for sure. Yeah. But there's a moment from my childhood when pretty much everything changed, and I'll never forget it. I was back in Kansas, and my grandfather sat me down and asked me what I wanted to do in life. And I gave the typical answer that a 7-year-old boy would say. You know, I said, I want cars, I want a mansion, pool, whatever else, ponies. But you know what he said back to me?
What did he say?
He said, you can do all that, but you can't feed your family if there's no food to buy. You know, so go ahead and get rich, but before you do that, learn how to grow a tomato. You know, and it's simple, but it always stuck with me. I mean, it means you need to learn the skills first, and then once you develop a valuable skill, you'll never go poor. And I set out to learn the skills, diving right into the financial world. And at 17 years old, I started trading. And in my early 20s, I ran my own brokerage firm. And at one point, I'd even lost $70,000 ruthlessly finding out what works for me.
Wait a minute.
And obviously what doesn't.
Wow. Oh, so you lost $70,000?
Yeah, 70 grand. I made the classic mistakes that I see traders falling into every day. I was consistently swinging for the fences on every trade, chasing trades in fear of missing out on the next hot stock that you hear about in the news. And I paid a great price for those lessons. And this is why I love the one-stock retirement. By default, this approach allows me to avoid all those mistakes while having the chance to make 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times our money over and over again with no overthinking.
Okay, absolutely. And look how far you've come, Jeff. According to my notes, you ran a $200 million fund where investors trusted you with managing millions for them. And now you run a financial research firm where 170,000 people have taken the leap with you to help build their nest egg. That's just incredible stuff. So I've got to ask, why? I mean, why not just kick back and relax at the pool? And why are you even here today? Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm glad you've come forward. But, you know, most people in your position, and myself included, I've got to think they'd keep all of this quiet.
Well, look, I put my head to the grindstone. I learned the skills, I made the money, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And when I left money management, I really thought that, you know, maybe that's it. You know, I thought I would just coast off into the sunset and enjoy life. But, you know, something strange happened, you know, something that I didn't plan for. I was bored out of my mind. You know, and for me, the dream of retirement was nothing like reality. And what I missed most was working with other people. And so this is why I came back into the financial world, you know, to help others with my trading secrets.
We're glad you did. So that's why you're sharing this one-stock retirement strategy?
Well, yeah, right. And before you paint me as some kind of, you know, Mother Teresa of trading, you know, there's something in it for me too, right? I mean, by sharing my work with a wide audience, honestly, it helps keep me sharp.
Oh, okay, and clearly you have the success to back up what you're saying. But let me just play devil's advocate for a second here, because when I look at the stock market, it's really kind of easy to see the big winners of the past decade, right? I mean, you've got Facebook, Apple, Tesla. Sure. Why can't I just buy one of those stocks and call it a day? And what I'm getting at is, what makes your strategy so much better? Okay,
look, without a doubt, some of the most widely traded stocks, you know, we're talking tens of billions of dollars daily. But that doesn't always mean that they're worth trading. So for example, let's look at a 2-week trading period with these tech stocks. You know, Facebook, it dropped 2.7%. Apple shot up 3%. And Tesla, that stock surged 12% from positive news of a new partnership deal.
Okay. I mean, that's not bad, especially for Tesla.
Yeah, not bad at all. But these stocks have trillion-dollar market values. And what that means is 3% for Apple or 12% for Tesla in 2 weeks. I mean, that's massive. But during the same exact time, instead of grabbing 3% on Apple or 12% on Tesla, I recommended a one-stock retirement trade. And I secure a 100% gain. That's doubling my money in just 14 days.
Wow. Okay, so you beat Facebook by a factor of 101 times. You outperformed Apple by 66 times. And you outperformed Tesla, even with their ravenous following, by a factor of 8 times. I mean, well, no one can deny it. I mean, that's really impressive.
Well, instead of following the masses and trading the same overpriced, shallow stocks, I simply recommend trading one little-known stock. We do it once a month, over and over again. And the stock is always the same, and it's an incredibly simple strategy. And today, everyone gets the name of that stock 100% free. All right, Kim, by the end of this interview, everyone's going to be armed with the stock's ticker and the knowledge that can create these kinds of massive gains, and using what I believe to be the world's most predictable stock.
Okay, well, I love what I'm seeing so far, but I think you'll agree with me saying that you've found the world's most predictable stock is a pretty massive claim. I mean, you're going to have to give us more than that. So maybe you can show us an example?
Sure. For example, Kim, when I say the words market crash, what do you think about?
Well, recently it's been a little scary. But before this, I want to say maybe the 2008 meltdown.
All right, perfect. Leading up to 2008, the market was in full force. I mean, we're talking about a stunning 54% growth in just a few years. The Bureau of Economics Analysis, they revised its growth estimate, calling for the markets to surge even higher that year. But Kim, we both know what actually happened.
Yeah, the S&P 500 dropped, over 48%. Thrashing stock portfolios at a moment's notice. I mean, 8.6 million Americans lost their jobs. More than 860,000 families lost their homes to foreclosure, and the International Monetary Fund said we were on the brink of systemic meltdown.
Yeah, it was an unforgettable time in our history. But instead of letting the historic crash ruin our livelihood, look what happened. I mean, let's put it on the screen. Can you see it there, Kim?
Yeah.
Instead of letting my hard-earned assets melt away like millions of unsuspecting Americans, I saw the crash in advance and made my recommendations.
Well, from what I'm seeing here, you were recommending 197%, 204%, and 490% gains during one of the biggest crashes in modern history.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it was before the crash, during the crash, and even on the way to rock bottom. A simple $1,000 investment could have turned into $4,900 in profits while the entire country was in a meltdown. In fact, in October of 2008, CNBC heard the news and asked me to come on live TV and explain my strategy. And I turned them down. But now, today, I'm finally comfortable bringing this secret into the light quite a few years later.
Well, you must be one of the few who saw the 2008 crash coming and capitalized. That in itself is definitely a rare skill set. And this was all while some of the most elite hedge funds, 700 funds total, had to shut down in 2008. I mean, that's downright crazy. But to be completely fair, 2008 was quite a while ago, right? I mean, so how have you done recently?
Well, besides closing numerous double-digit and triple-digit gains, let's look back further to the 2020 crash. Back on March 18th, only 3 days before the bottom of the crash, I publicly stated that we were about to hit a 20% market rebound and for folks to get ready for a surge. And here's a snapshot of my public statement.
Wow. Okay, nearly a perfect call. You were right. We did, in fact, experience a V-shaped recovery. More importantly, did you make any recommendations during the crash?
Well, I nailed quite a few with the one-stock retirement strategy.
I see it. 100% and 273% right before the historic crash. I mean, then another 85% right after. While $3 trillion from the markets washed away. That's just incredible. But I'd like to point out something that's pretty unique, Jeff, because what's funny here is not only did you grab huge gains before and after the crash, but the same day you published your article saying we would see a 20% market pop. So here's what the mainstream media was saying. Fear-mongering and uncertainty, right? Which I'm sure caused millions of Americans to keep their money on the sidelines, missing out on the massive profit opportunities that you gave your readers.
Well, first off, I appreciate you pointing this out. I mean, that's actually one of my biggest gripes. The foundational investing and trading strategies that have been taught in our entire lives, they don't work like they're supposed to do. But let me explain what I mean. Because it's not just the mainstream press leaving millions of everyday people and traders behind with misinformation. It's also the world's #1 investor.
Wait a minute. The world's #1 investor, you're saying, has led millions of people behind with bad financial strategies? I mean, what do you mean?
Well, he's not doing it on purpose, but, I'm talking about Warren Buffett.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Well, okay, this is what I believe to be the #1 financial myth of all time, screwing over millions of Americans trying to find financial freedom. Now, obviously, there's absolutely no doubt that Warren Buffett is a genius in his own right. Mm-hmm. He started with roughly $100,000 and turned it into a $100 billion fortune. I mean, he is a master of finding dozens of undervalued stocks and holding on to them for dear life as they grow over the course of decades.
Exactly. So what's the issue? I mean, 100,000 into 100 billion sure sounds like a pretty good return to me.
Well, yeah, you think, but Kim, here's the issue. What about the everyday men and women, right? Most people don't have tens of thousands of dollars in free cash to invest in a portfolio of undervalued stocks. They don't have it. But even if they did, you would have to wait 10, 20, 30, 50 years or even longer to see any decent-sized returns from those investments. For example, 99% of Warren Buffett's wealth came after he was 50 years old. The largest majority of his money came after he turned 72 years old.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this. You're saying most people just can't afford to wait decades to collect profits like Mr. Buffett can.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, you're seeing everything happening in America right now. We're witnessing unprecedented times.
I hear you. In the last year, 164 million American workers made an average of $34,248. Think about that. We're seeing the highest inflation in 40 years. Used cars cost more than brand new cars. Grocery costs doubling. It's terrible. I mean, and rents are skyrocketing. Yet half of the nation is trying to make ends meet on less than $3,000 a month.
$3,000 a month, exactly. And that's the thing, Kim. Listen, these are hardworking folks. You know, they never seem to get ahead for good reason. There's a limit to time and to energy. I mean, we're not machines. We can only work so much. That leaves us with really only one option: to invest. But that's where just about everyone does it wrong. I mean, we fall victim to the number one financial myth of all time, which is build a highly diversified portfolio. And it's misleading people right into the poorhouse. I mean, if you've wondered why you're not rich yet, you know, this financial myth is probably why. The game has changed. It's transformed. Now, look, I'm not hating on Mr. Buffett or any other billionaire investors who preach long-term investing. But the simple truth is they have all the time in the world. They have a team of PhDs behind them. They have virtually unlimited capital and a slew of other resources. Now, most people don't have any of that. Now, Kim, do you have any idea how hard it is to double your money in the stock market doing it the mainstream way? I mean, if you had $10,000 to invest into the markets and you grab the average 10% annual return, it would take you around 8 years for you to double your money.
8 years. I mean, 8 years to go from 10,000 to 20,000. Yikes, that's a long time. And that's before factoring in, taxes or the inflation that has probably eaten away most of those profits.
Yeah, crazy, right? So this is why I look for an immediate path to profits. I'm not waiting 8 years. I'm in and out in as little as 8 days. It's like taking a sniper's approach to trading. One stock, once per month, over and over again. Allowing anyone to take as little as $100 for the shot to multiply in their investment 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times over.
Okay, wait a minute. No offense here, Jeff, but this sounds like a pipe dream. Just $100.
Well, look, no offense taken. But here, let me just show you how powerful the one stock retirement strategy is. Now, check out one of my most recent trades. We nailed a 352% gain, and you only needed $84 to get in on the trade.
Pretty incredible. Nearly quadrupling your investment.
Yeah, in 8 days.
Wow.
So 24 years to collect the same gain, 8 days, I don't know, your choice, right? But it gets better. Check out another one of my trades. I recommended a massive 269% gain in just 30 days. And that's enough to turn $1,000 into $3,690.
Okay, but how much did anyone need to get in on that trade?
$61. And it outperformed the markets by a factor of 26 times. So the point is, with even less than $100, you can get in on a high profit trade regardless of if the markets are up or if they're down. And it's not just these examples. Many of my one stock retirement trades cost as little as $35, $54, $100 to buy in. And they all have the power to double, triple, or even quadruple your investment in just a few days' time. This trading strategy, I can't tell you, it's extremely powerful.
It sure seems like it is. I mean, I must admit, Jeff, I was ready to come into this interview today and kind of, poke holes in your strategy and really get to the bottom of what's really going on. But right outside that door, I said I was going to dig into you and find out if this is hype or if it's real. But now I can see why you've amassed such a loyal following. I mean, subscribers all over the country and worldwide. I can see why Silicon Valley elites gave you upwards of $200 million to manage. And I can see why you have presidents of major corporations sending you all of those glowing endorsements. And in fact, got one right here. It says, no matter whether the stock is moving up or down, Jeff somehow manages to find a strategy that works. Overall, I could not be happier with his performance. I mean, all of this speaks very highly of your character and strategy, Jeff. I mean, there's just no denying it.
Well, thanks, Kim. I mean, it means a lot. Now, look, I came to today's interview not knowing if you were going to shred me to pieces or not. But either way, I want to help more people become financially independent. And like I said earlier, we are living in unprecedented times. One day stocks are soaring, the next day the markets are blood red. I mean, it's hard for most people to predict what's right around the corner. Kim, Americans are going through some serious growing pains right now. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
I think you're putting it nicely. At this moment, Yahoo reports 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. I mean, the Washington Post says millions of Americans are heading into the holidays unemployed and over 5,000 behind on rent. And worse yet, the lack of income and job reliability has devastating ripple effects. I mean, more and more people are wondering how they're going to make life work, or whether they're going to be a burden on their kids and their grandkids instead of a source of inspiration. So something's got to give, because the buy and hold world we have, it's not cutting it.
Agreed. Kim, this is why today's interview is so critically important to the financial freedoms of pretty much everyone watching. The solution begins with helping Americans make massive returns again, with a real skill that can create almost market-proof profits. A simple $100 or even less can start you on the road to financial freedom. And that's why I'm revealing everything I know, the name of the one stock retirement, and even a demonstration.
Yes, and speaking of the demo, how about it? I mean, you've proven it works incredibly well, but now I'd love to see how this strategy is accomplished step by step.
Absolutely. And Kim, you're the one who's going to do it. Are you ready?
I'm game, but how?
Well, take out your phone, and we can do this with a snap of a finger. It's really that simple.
Really? Okay, let's see.
All right, so open up your brokerage account.
Okay.
And that's it, you're done.
Really?
It's that simple.
Really?
Piece of cake.
That's it? Okay.
That's all you need to do.
Wow, I honestly thought it was going to be a bit more complex than that. I love the simplicity of this. And what we just did here, it's the same process you use every month to recommend gains as high as 373%?
Same process.
Really?
Okay, there's no more spending hours glued to a computer screen, no more waiting years to get any kind of decent profit. This is the new way to use limited time, limited capital, and the experience to potentially build an incredible nest egg.
Wow. Now, Jeff, when we placed the trade on my phone, I saw exactly what stock you've been teasing. So, can you explain to our viewers what that one stock retirement actually is?
Sure, absolutely. It's called the Van Eck Gold Miners ETF. The symbol is GDX. And GDX tracks an explosive group of gold stocks, and to the tune of $13.2 billion every day. And it's what I consider to be the world's most predictable stock. And whether the market's up or sideways or even falling, you can leverage the power of GDX for the opportunity to extract massive profits. For example, last January, when the Dow dropped more than 600 points and the S&P 500 went red for the year, I recommended one simple trade on GDX as millions of Americans' portfolios turned blood red. And we snapped up a 75% gain. Or when the mainstream media was spouting market uncertainty, causing traders to put their money on the sidelines. I didn't need to listen to any of that. Instead, I recommended a trade on GDX, giving readers the chance at a 100% gain. That's doubling your money.
Yeah.
And then when the market was pounding back to life, I recommended another simple trade on GDX. And sure enough, we saw a 107% gain in just 7 days.
Double your money in just 7 days. I know people who would give an arm and a leg for something like that.
Absolutely. And I know it can be hard to believe at first, but it's true. It boils down to this: the opportunity to double your money in 7 days or 8 years. It's your choice.
Not a choice.
Although it's not just about grabbing these quick gains or having frequent opportunities to trade. There's one reason why GDX is so special to trade. There's one reason why it unlocks the chance at 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times anyone's money in any market condition. And it's why I believe GDX to be the world's most predictable stock. And it all comes down to what the economist calls the world's most valuable resource. I'm talking about data. And since GDX closely follows the price of real physical gold, I literally have centuries of data to pull from to accurately predict the direction of GDX.
Interesting. Okay. So are you saying your one stock retirement strategy is extracting data over the course of centuries?
Exactly. It's like how a supercomputer might extract data at a rate of 200 quadrillion per second, taking in countless different sets of information to release one predictable outcome. The one stock retirement system that I've created is very similar. It leverages centuries of data to predict current and future moves before anyone else. And we pair simple option trade on GDX to multiply our profit potential. This gives us what's known as leverage. And so for every 1 point move in GDX, an options play can make 5 to 10 times more money. And the results are stunning. Nearly 1 out of 3 of my GDX recommendations have led to a 100% gain. Double your money. And that doesn't count my double or single digit wins.
It's incredible. Especially when you consider research and ranking recently reported on a study saying 90% of investors lose money in the markets. Forget profits. Most of them even end up losing their entire capital. But the amazing thing is, Jeff, your one stock retirement strategy is absolutely crushing everyone. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Well, here's the critical point. See, it's not just me crushing it. Everyday people are using the one stock retirement strategy to transform their lives. I mean, can we pop up the headlines on the screen, please?
Dave W. said, I had my best week trading with you. Patrick said, Jeff, you're clearly an expert. Your advice is clearly not fake get-rich-quick stuff. Finally, sound advice. And you had a guy named Adam Jeffrey send you pictures of his broker statements showing that you helped him create more than $309,000 in trading profits. Jeff, I'm in the wrong business here because that is plain amazing. I mean, that's got to be nearly 10 times what most people are making from their jobs in an entire year.
Yeah, and these one stock retirement trades usually take around 2 minutes or less every single time. I mean, you saw it yourself. No more being a slave to your computer screen. No more having to babysit 10 or 20 or 30 different stocks in a portfolio. I mean, that's just constant anxiety. No more wondering where all these stocks are moving, and no more spending thousands of dollars on an investment that might take years to reap any kind of reward. I'm talking about using the power of the one stock retirement strategy where you could collect 37 years of typical market gains in just 8 days. But it gets better than that, though, Kim. It's possible to do it with less than $100.
Wow. Okay, now, Jeff, I'm sure you know in the past year, trading has exploded into the mainstream. I mean, Reuters explains more than 100 million new traders have created accounts with brokers. 8.2 million trades are executed every single day. I mean, we're seeing an all-time level of trading in the markets. So if I were one of those traders, the one stock retirement strategy would look like the holy grail for me. For anyone watching right now, how can they get started? Okay,
I've come prepared with a special action blueprint that anyone can use to get going on this strategy in the next few minutes. It's called the One Stock Retirement Blueprint, how one stock can yield a retirement fortune. It's this right here. This is the key to opening up a world of trading that few have seen before.
Now, to be fair, if I searched for this anywhere else online, would I find it?
No. This is the only place you can grab this blueprint, and in a moment, I'll show you how to get it. Now, in this special blueprint, I'm laying it all out. I'm giving you a look at the inner workings of the strategy, why I chose to ignore over 6,000 stocks in the market, how this one stock can spit out gains of 4 times your money in as little as 1 week, a step-by-step guide to how you can place your first GDX trade with as little as $100, how this strategy can allow you to book profits in any market, and how you can even turn a losing trade into a winner.
Let me stop you there. A losing trade into a winner? How does that work?
Well, for some context, I wrote an article about this not too long ago. Here's a quote from the article. The trade that had threatened to bankrupt me just a few hours earlier had now made me a fortune. My clients were rich, my firm was rich, and my own net worth nearly doubled as a result.
Your net worth doubled from a trade that was initially a loser?
Right. That's right. It was a loser, and we turned it into a winner. And you can grab the details of this trade in the One Stock Retirement Blueprint. It couldn't be any easier. I mean, I don't care what level of experience you have. This is by far one of the simplest ways to pull profitable trades from any market condition in almost any situation. It's one of the greatest accomplishments of my life. Giving the power back to everyday men and women to turn small stakes into potentially big profits. 86%, 100%, and 373% in as little as 8 days.
Well, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And I tend to be on the cutting edge of new trading and investing strategies. But Jeff, is there anything else you have for our viewers today?
Oh, absolutely. It's called the One Stock Retirement Video Masterclass.
I want to know how you love teaching others, Jeff. This sounds like an incredible opportunity. You've helped over 170,000 people navigate the markets and see octane-fueled gains. You were even hired by a California university to teach options and became the youngest dean in the school's history. And I might add, you have even trained over 1,000 people to become licensed stockbrokers. Many of them went to firms like Merrill Lynch or Payne Weber. You've even been paid upwards of $10 million for your financial knowledge and instruction. But what will our viewers discover in your new trading masterclass?
Okay, you're going to discover a no-nonsense approach to trading like a real pro. I mean, real skills that last a lifetime. The kind of skills that can help someone to retire using one single stock over and over again. A condensed version of everything that I learned in my entire career, except you're not going to have to go through the blood, sweat, and tears that I did. The masterclass is going to reveal 5 basic chart patterns that dominate any market, the most common mistake people make with options and how to dodge it, how, when, and why to take your trading profits, how to use options to generate instant cash from just a few mouse clicks. All said and done, it's over 4 hours of some of the best trading tips and tricks that you're ever going to discover. It's the closest way that I know to become an invincible trader.
Jeff, I have to say, when I came into this interview today, I was ready to tear you apart. In a nice way, of course. You know, I wanted to poke holes in your strategy and really get to the truth. But I have to say, from everything we've spoken about, I mean, the proof is here. I can't deny the incredible strategy that you've created, or the fact that you've helped over 170,000 people from all walks of life, or the fact that you're collecting decades of average annual returns in as little as 1 week. I just want to take a moment to commend you on what you're doing here. And for our viewers who agree, I mean, how can they get started right now? How can they grab a complimentary version of your blueprint and masterclass videos?
Okay, right now, I'm opening up access to Jeff Clark Trader. So if you want a more intimate and hands-on trading experience with me as your guide, this is perfect for you. Not only will you get all the blueprints and the videos that we talked about to walk you through my decades of trading knowledge, but I'm taking it a step further. As a member, you're also going to get an average of at least 1 trade per month over the course of an entire year. It's an opportunity to take as little as $100 and multiply your money 2 times, 3 times, maybe even 4 times over, regardless if the markets are up or down or sideways or just going bonkers like we've seen so far this year. You'll get trade alerts right to your phone, and it's going to look a lot like this.
At almost any price, this sounds like quite the deal. Jeff, who wouldn't want to get live trade recommendations every month from a trading millionaire like yourself? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. But I know on your public website, it shows the price for membership starts at $199 per year. So is this what new members will pay today?
Well, Kim, we both flew out for this interview, and we have a full team of folks who have been kind enough to help us execute this. And I truly feel like we're doing something special today, so I want to keep it going. So for today only, I'm inviting you to join Jeff Clark Trader for only a tiny fraction of the normal cost. So forget about paying $199 a year like normal. Kim, I want to sweeten this deal even more. Any new members who join in the next few minutes, I'm adding a special surprise bonus. It's called the Bubble Investing Blueprint. Take advantage of quick market moves before the masses.
All right, can you explain why every trader out there needs this report right now?
Sure, Kim. Look, there's no denying that we're living through turbulent times, right? In the stock market and in the economy, we've seen the markets plunge at the drop of a hat, and we've seen the markets spike in a matter of seconds. Now, what if you could be aware of all the major moves before they happen? Or even better, what if you could trade before, during, and after the big market moves? I mean, the profits can really stack up fast when this happens. So I want everyone in my inner circle to be prepared. And it starts with this simple new report. And again, it's 100% free when you join as a new member today to Jeff Clark Trader.
Perfect. Jeff, earlier we mentioned that the public price of your service retails for $199. You said new members would only have to pay a fraction. So before you get to it, though, I just want to quickly recap everything new members will receive in the next few minutes. Tell me if this is correct. The One Stock Retirement Blueprint, the One Stock Retirement Video Masterclass, private 24/7 access to Jeff Clark Trader, including the Jeff Clark Trader app, allowing you to get immediate alerts for a new trade recommendation no matter where you are. New members will also get access to the model portfolio of trade recommendations and unparalleled customer service should you need it. And lastly, your newest report, the Bubble Investing Blueprint. All said and done, an amazing offer, Jeff. And to take a hold of this opportunity, you can click the button near this video to reserve your membership with Jeff Clark Trader.
Yeah, and even better, it's 100% risk-free. So take 60 full days and power through the reports. Look at all the masterclass videos. Look through my entire portfolio and new trade recommendations. And if you decide it's not a good fit for you, it's not a problem. Simply call our customer support team and they'll send you a full refund, no questions asked. If that sounds like a good deal to you and you're ready to start your journey to financial freedom, potentially closing gains as high as 373% in as little as 8 days, with $100 or less, regardless of market conditions, then all you need to pay for today's special one-time offer is only $19. Now, to put that in perspective, that's only 5 cents per day.
Wow, truth be told, that is much lower than what I expected. 5 cents a day to get actionable trading recommendations from one of the world's leading experts. I mean, that's quite the deal and quite the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect, Kim. You know, the more people that I can help, the more it changes lives and comes full circle back to me and my team.
Absolutely, Jeff. But looking at the clock, I hate to say it, but I believe this is all the time we have for today. It's been a true pleasure just getting to know you better and finding out how you've been helping regular people all across the globe change their lives. Now, for any viewers watching, simply click the button near this video to get a full recap of Jeff's special offer today. And Jeff, any last words before we say goodbye?
Well, yeah, one last comment and something to think about. What we're talking about here is 19 bucks. We're talking about $19 for a wealth of education that could potentially change your life. At a minimum, you're going to get at least one trade a month. You're going to get all the masterclass videos. You're going to get all the education, all the special blueprints, everything that we've plowed a lot of time and effort into, and it costs you $19. And I got to tell you, you can spend 19 bucks for a month of Netflix and go through a whole bunch of Danish subtitled TV shows if that's what you want to do. But that doesn't do anything for you. 19 bucks here, it's your retirement. It's your life. It can have a dramatic effect on your future. And so, I don't know. The last thing to say is it's 19 bucks. And if you don't like it, if it doesn't work for you, if it's something that you feel you can't really get into after trying it for 60 days, call and get your money back. So really, it's 19 bucks or it's nothing, and it's an opportunity to change your life.
Yes, and well, there you have it, folks. Click the button near this video to get a final look at today's special offer. It's been a great interview, and Jeff and I both thank you for watching. And don't forget, your next winning trade could be waiting right around the corner. So time is of the essence. Thanks again, Jeff. Talk soon.
Thank you.